Hello everyone, it is Friday, May 15th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Welcome back to 3 News Now with your afternoon update. We have your top headlines for you from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We do start each afternoon at 2 p.m. when we get those updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health related to COVID-19 and how that's looking here in the state of Ohio. And we have relatively good news today. We are down across the board in terms of the numbers here in Ohio for COVID-19. We are down in terms of new cases reported. We are down for new deaths reported. We are down for new hospitalizations reported. And we are down for new ICU admissions reported. So that is positive news. It's as positive as the news can be as the numbers do continue to go up. Now, here's a word on why we are looking at these day-to-day numbers. What we are looking for is a downward trajectory. We're looking for a trend of the numbers continuing to go down in terms of new cases. And we want to see that over a period of 14 days before we can consider reopening the state on a widespread capacity. So here's how the numbers stand right now. Today, we have 597 new reported cases of COVID-19 coronavirus. Now, we have a total of 26,954 cases, but those are cases from the onset of us knowing about coronavirus being here in the state of Ohio. So many of those people have already recovered. There are a total of 47 new deaths reported today, which is down from yesterday. There are now a total of 1,581 total deaths reported. So yesterday we saw 51 new deaths. Before that we saw 47. So it's been kind of going like this in terms of the new deaths all week this week. If we take a look back, here's a recap of the new death numbers over the past week. There were 10 new deaths reported on Sunday, 16 new deaths reported on Monday. Then we had a jump of 79 new deaths reported on Tuesday. So that was the third largest 24-hour increase in numbers of new deaths reported. Then on Wednesday, we saw 47 new deaths. And then Thursday, we saw 51 new deaths. And we are down today to 47 new deaths reported. So we're not quite down as far as we were at the beginning of the week, but we are down from yesterday. And that is something significant to point out as we look for this downward trajectory. Now, in terms of the number of hospitalizations, there have been 73 new hospitalizations reported today for COVID-19 coronavirus. The total of hospitalizations for the entire period of time that we've known about COVID-19 being in Ohio is now 4,791. Taking a look at the hospitalizations over the past week, there were 51 new hospitalizations reported on Sunday, 62 on Monday, and then 126 on Tuesday. So we saw that going up. It dropped down a little bit on Wednesday when we saw 79 new reported hospitalizations, went back up again on Thursday with 100 new hospitalizations reported, and now today we are back down just a bit with 73 new hospitalizations reported. In terms of ICU admissions, we are also down today. We're down by more than half today. There were 9 new ICU cases reported. The total number of ICU cases related to COVID-19 since we first learned of it being here in Ohio is now 1,277. Let's break down how that has changed for us this week. There were 5 new ICU cases reported on Sunday, 12 new ICU cases reported on Monday, 15 on Tuesday, 16 on Wednesday, and then 20 on Thursday. So now we are back down to 9 reported today. Taking a look at where we stand nationally and globally, in both the U.S. and worldwide today, in the last 24 hours, we are up in terms of new cases, but we are down in terms of new deaths. Across the country, there were 26,500 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. So that's up from yesterday when we saw 20,500 new cases. The total number of cases that have been reported in the U.S. is now about 1,427,000. Now, when we're looking at the deaths in the U.S. for the last 24 hours, we've seen now 1,243 new reported deaths related to COVID-19. That's up from yesterday when we saw, or down from yesterday, when we saw 1,835 new deaths for a total of 86,228 deaths related to COVID-19 coronavirus across the U.S. Now, Those numbers hold true worldwide. Again, as I said, we are up in terms of number of cases, down in terms of number of deaths worldwide since yesterday in the last 24 hours. Today, we see 95,476 new cases worldwide. The number of cases worldwide is now 4,500,476. Yesterday, we saw 92,000 new cases, so we are up in terms of new cases. But we are down in terms of new deaths. Today, worldwide, in the last 24 hours, there have been 4,970 new deaths reported. That's down from yesterday, when there were 5,226 new deaths reported. And the total number of deaths related to COVID-19 coronavirus worldwide is now breached the 300,000 mark. We are now at 304,843. President Donald Trump today started talking about a COVID-19 vaccine and how he expects that by the end of the year. His plan has been dubbed Operation Warp Speed, and he talked about that today. So the idea here is that studies will be overlapping of different vaccines that are made differently and act differently. And the idea is to get those studies going at the same time so that if and when one of them works, we can jump on that rather than trying one, waiting to see what happens there, trying another one like that. So Trump also announced that the doctor who has been appointed to lead the White House initiative, his name, which I am sure I'm going to pronounce incorrectly, so I apologize in advance for that. It's Dr. Moncef Slaoui. Dr. Slaoui said during Friday's press conference that he's recently seen early data from a coronavirus vaccine trial that makes him feel even more confident that we'll be able to deliver a few 100 million doses of a vaccine by the end of the year. In an interview on Thursday with Fox Business, Trump said that he would rapidly mobilize the U.S. military to distribute a vaccine as soon as it's ready, and that the focus would be on nursing homes, the elderly, and people who are the most vulnerable to COVID-19. Now, keep in mind, virus experts have said that it could take anywhere from a year to 18 months to develop a COVID-19 vaccine. Our very own Russ Mitchell has just had an interview with Governor Mike DeWine today. Just about an hour ago, he sat down to speak with the governor, and they talked about everything about his plans, his team, and Ohio's response to COVID-19. You all sent in questions as well, and Russ Mitchell did ask those questions. So you'll be able to see portions of that interview tonight on What's New at 5 p.m., also on What Matters Most at 6, on Front Row at 7, and What's Next at 11. And we will have the full interview up on our site on WKYC.com and our WKYC app, and also on our YouTube page, which if you're not familiar, you can go there by typing in youtube.com/user/WKYC-TV. So the full interview will be there so you can see every single thing that Russ and Governor DeWine talked about just about an hour ago. Here's some unsettling news. Former Cleveland Clinic doctor has been arrested for allegedly sharing data with China. Dr. Wang has been charged with making false claims and wire fraud in relation to more than $3.6 million in grant funding that was provided to his research team at the Cleveland Clinic by the National Institutes of Health. So, according to this, Dr. Wang is believed to have participated in a talent recruitment program which was organized by the Chinese government that aims to gain access to foreign technology and information. While working for the clinic, Dr. Wang was not only affiliated with, but also served as the Dean of the College of Life Sciences and Technology at the Huzhong University of Science and Technology. During this time, while allegedly intentionally failing to disclose his affiliation, Dr. Wang simultaneously received grant funding from both the National Institutes of Health and the National Natural Science Foundation of China for some of the same scientific research that was already funded by the National Institutes of Health grant. So that was a lot of words there. Basically, to break that down, the allegation here is that he received grant funding from two different sources for the same research project. FBI Cleveland Special Agent Eric Smith said today this: Dr. Wang deliberately failed to disclose his Chinese grants and foreign positions, and even engaged in a pervasive pattern of fraud to avoid criminal culpability. Now, keep in mind, he has just been charged at this time, so that is not any determination as to guilt or innocence at this point, but he has been charged, and we will be following that investigation as it carries through. Here's some interesting news if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. Former Cleveland Browns head coach Hugh Jackson is now denying rumors that the Browns were offered star quarterback Russell Wilson in 2018 in exchange for that number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So earlier this week, NFL analyst and quarterback Chris Sims made a pretty shocking statement. He said that the Seattle Seahawks had offered star quarterback Russell Wilson in a trade to the Browns in exchange for that number 1 pick when we ended up drafting Baker Mayfield, who is now our quarterback. Hugh Jackson says, though, that never happened to the best of his knowledge. It was on an interview with the Zach Gelb show on CBS Sports Radio. He said, "I've never heard anything so crazy in my life." He also said that he's sure former Browns general manager John Dorsey and Seattle general manager John Schneider are pretty tight, and maybe they were having conversations on their own, but if something was actually serious related to the Browns being able to get Russell Wilson on the roster, he would think that the executive team and the organization would have known, and he never heard anything about that. So Wilson ended up staying in Seattle, and we got Baker Mayfield, and he ended up setting a rookie record that year for 27 touchdown passes. Now, I know last season wasn't exactly what we anticipated, but you still have to acknowledge that we had more wins than we have in many recent seasons. So we'll say that, and very much looking forward to seeing what happens with the NFL in this upcoming 2020 season. Now, as we look to many restaurants reopening their patios today, Friday, May 15th, there is a proposal to temporarily close down West 25th Street near the West Side Market, and that's getting more attention. So Mayor Frank Jackson's administration is considering special no traffic zones for popular city business districts. Now, what this would do is it would allow these businesses to take advantage of that street space and provide more space for customers, as well as more physical distancing. So this is something that Ohio City people have been pushing for almost 10 years as the neighborhood grows. And the idea could work across the city from neighborhoods on the east side near Shaker Square to Cam's Corner on the west side. This isn't something that would necessarily be limited to the West 25th Street, Ohio City area. Cleveland Councilman Kerry McCormack, whose ward includes Ohio City, said that they would have to designate certain zones, work with the state to get liquor issues figured out, because you would be able to consume alcohol in these street spaces that are temporarily closed down. And it could be a temporary pilot project to help small businesses in the short term so they can reopen and have enough space to serve customers more safely. And one example that's being brought up again and again as we talk about this is New York City's Broadway Avenue in the middle of Times Square. It was once one of the busiest streets in the world. Now traffic is limited because of all the foot traffic in that space, and there are many businesses that are thriving in that area. So that is something to keep in mind here, potentially, that we might be seeing in Northeast Ohio and the greater Cleveland area. One more thing for you today. PLOWZ and MOWZ is giving away a free lawn mower to healthcare workers. They've already given away apparently 5,000 free services to frontline workers, and the service is now being offered in any city where they have an active branch. So that includes Cleveland, but other places where it's happening is Minneapolis, Denver, Detroit, and Chicago. So if you're a healthcare worker, all you have to do is this: download the PLOWZ and MOWZ app, add a lawn mow to your cart, and apply the discount code HERO at checkout. The co-founder of PLOWZ and MOWZ said they just hope to help out those who are helping out others during this time. I think I may have misspoke. I think I said that they were giving away a free lawn mower at the beginning of this. They're not. They're giving away a free lawn mow. So add that mow to your cart on the PLOWZ and MOWZ app, and they will cut your grass for free as things start to warm up and we really get into spring and we are staring down summer here in Northeast Ohio. Okay, that's your afternoon update here on 3 News Now for Friday, May 15th. Governor Mike DeWine's press conference is underway right now. You can find that on 3 News, on the air on TV, or on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, and also on YouTube. Next up, we've got What's New at 5 p.m. I'll see you there. That's on the air on 3 News and also on our YouTube page at youtube.com/user/WKYC-TV and on our website and our app. And then we've also got more coverage for you on What Matters Most at 6 p.m., Front Row at 7 p.m. and What's Next at 11 p.m., which, by the way, we do stream all of those shows live on WKYC.com and our app. So if you don't have cable, if you don't have a digital antenna so that you can access those channels for free, you can always stream it live on our website. That's what we've got coming up for you. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Hopefully you don't get caught in the rain and you can enjoy some fresh air. Stay safe this weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday at 11 a.m. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm Stephanie Haney.